Previously on Into the Motherlands.
Welcome to Back to the Motherlands, presented by Dicey Amazons, a quick recap show discussing the development and events of Into the Motherlands campaign featuring Tanya DePass, Christina Ariel, Michael Sinclair II, DJ Knight, Abria Iyengar, and storyteller Eugenio Vargas. I'm Candy, executive producer of the Dicey Amazons and one of your hosts.
And I'm your other host, Pi, the head producer of Dicey Amazons. So let's jump right into Season 3, Episode 7, which is basically like we're continuing off with where we left off with the fight from the last episode. So basically we pick up with Ilay, the They attacking one of the drones with a pipe, and a piece of that pipe breaks off. Up top, on the other side, Ikemba and Invicta cannonball into the hatch that separate them from the rest of the group. Because they were trying to huff and puff and get their bodies down there, and so they try to cannonball their way in through that hatch. It doesn't work out the way that they planned, and Invicta is dazed by the fall. Then from there, Koseh attempts to use the upgrades on the spider backpack to climb, but also in the same process is throwing a little bit of shade over at Invicta because, words were said. Words were said, and I chuckled. I'm not going to lie. From there, the magnetic end.
Oh. So she throws shade at Invicta because she's like dazed. She's out. Ikemba and Invicta end up going through the hatch, but because Cypher wasn't actually there for that episode. And so that's how Eugenio kind of kept her like out of the fight, was saying like once they got through the hatch, they fell down and Invicta was dazed. And so so Koseh just was like, "Oh, what are you doing over there on the floor? Like like we're in a fight." Like that's the shade that she threw at Invicta.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's my fault that I haven't seen this yet.
Yeah. Actually, hold on. Let's see. Ikemba attempts to hack the robot. Yeah. And them hitches though. Like everybody was, like all the players were rolling hitches galore.
Hitches.
They were like all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's it. Everything else should be. Yeah, everything else should be good though.
Okay. Then from there, Koseh attempts to use the upgrades on the spider climb backpack while also throwing a little shade at Invicta, who's unfortunately dazed out from that crash. And it was a bit of a tumble. And so the magnetic ends of spider legs come off and end up flying around the room, unfortunately hitting Koseh and pinging off of some of the other robots. And during all of this, Tiwi was like, "Nope, I'm not having any of this," and just reverts back to Koseh's pocket. I feel you, Tiwi. I would have been out of the way, ducking and dodging and diving and whatnot.
So Ikemba attempts to hack the robots, but it's taking a little bit longer than intended due to some rolls. And so Ikemba starts to get a little angry. That's one of the things that happens when he doesn't usually roll really well. And so just hitches galore from Ikemba, and kind of throughout the first half of this episode, there were a lot of hitches from most of the cast.
It's giving me episode 1, season 1.
Right?
That's what it's giving me.
Right. So then Ilay attempts to smash another robot with the pipe, but the robot ends up evading them hitches though. The robots advance on Silent 19, and she actually takes some damage when her braids don't work on the robots. Them hitches though.
So many.
And then Koseh tries to hack the robots, but that also doesn't work. So for her, her insecurities about like not being able to attack the robots, and not also being able to hack the robots is really getting to her, and she's injured for being shot at, and she actually ends up curled into a fetal position in the corner, just sort of like zoning out. Ilay, using one of his Lightbringer abilities, because he does his homework, because they do their homework, they are actually able to take a couple of those insecurities from Koseh, and with that, like, Koseh is no longer like out of it, so, you know, she can actually possibly do something if she has another turn coming up.
Yeah, the they bay coming through for the rescue. I love it. I love to see it.
Right?
Yeah. Then from there, Silent 919 reverts to the fro because the braids obviously were not working, and uses the curls to send out lasers to the eyes of the robots and try and hack them. Everyone's trying to hack because we got robots in the house over here. And so she's able to shut some of them down and take control of one of them with the assistance of Ikemba. Ikemba continues to hack. This is the hacking episode, y'all. I don't know if you knew this, but this is the one where we hack. So Ikemba is continuing to hack and is able to alter some of the code and power down some of the robots, power down all of the robots except for the robot that Silent 919 has hacked and now has control over, because that's how we're doing it. Like, we had a successful roll. I love to see it. We're back in the game, and we're doing this.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So after the fight, Koseh and Ikemba continue to do their hacky hack and their download. Ilay is trying to decipher the unknown language, and Silent 919 is reprogramming her new robot, which will now and forever now be known as Silonia Hogarth, which is, I love it. I love the name, and it's now the robot's gonna have some sentience, and I cannot wait to see the interactions that Vice Admiral Silent 919 and Silonia have together.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see how this robot evolves. So from there, Ilay starts to find some patterns in the language, and they are able to sort of establish a base for future translation of this language. Ikemba makes some headway on the blueprints and the schematics that are showing up on screen, and Silent 919 is actually able to find the VI in the programming of the robot that she's trying to reprogram right now. And this is what she thinks has caused the corruption when she's tried to link up with these robots in the past. So when Koseh is done downloading info, she picks up a pipe and she starts bashing like all of these powered down robots, just like
yeah, it gets intense.
It does get intense.
Children, please avert your eyes. There's violence happening right now.
So Silent 919 actually goes over to her and stops her and just kind of checks on her. And just is like, hey, you shouldn't do that. Like, I don't think that that's going to help. And Koseh, explains that this is probably the best thing for her at the moment. She almost died due to her lack of knowledge, about this tech. And for Koseh, that's something that's very important, is knowledge about technology.
Yeah. Koseh definitely asked for time and space to process, and this is how she processes, by reenacting that scene from Office Space on the robot.
Right. But then she says, like, hey, if you want me to stop, I'll stop. After Silent 919 walks away, Ikemba walks over, and basically gives her the speech that she gave him when he was hesitating to heal Bertrand. And so I'm loving the dynamics between this crew, because you can tell Ikemba has learned from this moment and just needs to remind Koseh of the things that she said to him about, like, hey, like, you need to have that confidence, this is your job. And so that was a very powerful moment.
Yeah, remind Koseh who the F she is.
Right?
Okay. So we're having lovey-dovey feelings. We're giving advice. That advice had been giving to us. It's given us afternoon special, and I'm here for it. Cut to, okay, we look over at the terminal, and the terminal has a meter that's counting down to zero because Eugenio loves to torture all of us in our hearts. Koseh hears the countdown and then is back in the game, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like Koseh's up and investigating, and it looks like the base is about to shut down, and a prompt shows up on the screen, and Koseh hits the one on the left, and a map of the base then poof appears, right? So Koseh is too injured to act on anything, and I'm not gonna lie. After 6 weeks of being in a boot, Koseh, I feel you. You know, like sometimes you got to sit this one out and let everyone else go and investigate and do the thing.
But yeah, she was bleeding now.
Centuries ago, the Malian Emperor Mansa Musa sent his best and brightest scholars, explorers, warriors, and artisans across the great Western Ocean to discover new lands. They succeeded in ways no one could imagine. Now, 3,000 years later, their descendants have made a home for themselves on a new planet, and the calls of adventure and discovery are stronger than ever. Join creative director Tanya DePass as Invicta, the High and Old Blade Keeper, DJ Knight as Ikemba, the Musalian Biopriest, Michael Sinclair II as Ilay, the Misajai Lightbringer, Christina Ariel as Sila 919, the Monsagene Biopriest, Abria Iyengar as Koseh, the Hyanol Fixer, and Eugenio Vargas as the Storyteller, as they explore new planets, make new friends, and treat everyone they meet luxuriously. Welcome to the Motherlands.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. We missed you to episode 8, season 3 of Into the Motherlands. We are all very excited to be back with you after a brief hiatus last week. But here we are, the story advances. My name is Eugenio. I use he, him pronouns. I will be your storyteller this evening. Before I continue on with the introductions, why don't we go around and meet everyone that's going to be playing with us tonight? We have a full house again. We were down one of our Hyenols 2 weeks ago, and we're very glad she's back. So let's go ahead and introduce everybody. Let them know who you are and who you are playing this evening. Go.
My name is Abria Iyengar, and I am playing Koseh, your Hyanol Fixer. Both she and my pronouns are she, her. And I think I'm recovering, but it was not good for a while. Thank you, Ikemba.
Here for you. Since I heard my name, hi, I'm DJ. I play your Musalian Biopriest Ikemba. Our pronouns are he, him. You can find me on the internet as at DJ Knight pretty much everywhere. And yes, even there, because I didn't want somebody else to get it and do something stupid. That's all. Thanks for being with us. You're awesome.
Great.
You have to say so. You have to say it in the character's name, so they have to introduce themselves.
So I wanted to make sure I got my name at that website because I didn't want anyone to do something untoward. You're awesome. Thank you for being here. Who's next?
I don't know. I got thrown off by the voice. I forgot how much I like it.
Thank you
I
very much.
guess
Yeah.
I will go. Hello.
Great.
My name is Michael Sinclair II. I go by Michael Crits everywhere. I play Ilay, the Misajai Lightbringer. Their pronouns are they, them. My pronouns are he, him. That's me. I'm ready to play.
Woo-hoo. 2 more.
I'm not fighting Christina. She's wearing a crown.
That's fair.
Hi, I'm Christina Ariel, and I play Captain Silent 919, which is a Montague Bio Priest, and my crown is cool. I'm gonna wear it all the time.
Yeah.
So it's just here. Bye.
Bye.
She, her.
Boop. He thinks bye.
Hi, I'm Tanya. I keep coming back here. I have no idea why.
Oh.
I'm Invicta. I'm your high and old blade keeper. Pronouns are she, her for both me and Invicta.
All right. We're back. Before we do our recap of the recap, we do have a few folks to thank for helping us be here this evening. As always, we want to thank Die Hard Dice for supporting our endeavors here in the Motherlands. By now, you are certainly aware and probably tired of hearing me say that they have a beautiful Musalian Skies Dice set available on their website for your purchase. You can check out all the awesome stuff that they have for sale at dieharddice.com. And when you do, you should use code MOTHERLANDSRPG for 10% off your entire order at checkout. So go hang out at dieharddice.com. We also want to thank Blue Microphones. I don't think you can see my mic right now, but Blue Microphones, because they set us up with equipment to make sure that we sound good for you all. You can find all of their offerings at bluemic.com. We're very grateful to them. Next up, we want to thank the folks over at Cortex by Fandom. Our stream game here is currently powered by Cortex. And of course, we're very grateful to them and their system. You can check out Fandom's Twitter at Fandom Tabletop to get all of the news across the fandom world. And if you want more specifically Cortex news, you can follow them on Twitter at Cortex RPG. Last but most, and we will have a giveaway this evening, so keep an eye on chat. We're going to be giving away, as usual, digital copy of the Cortex handbook. Mods will let you know how to enter. Make sure that you are here for the drawing. If you are not here to claim your win and you are pulled, we will have to choose somebody else, so stick around for that. And last but not least, now finally, we of course want to thank Twitch. Into the Motherlands premieres exclusively here on Twitch every week, and we are very grateful for them for giving us 3 whole seasons to tell these awesome stories with you all. All right, I think that's all the thank yous. Brief recap. Once again, we got 2 more episodes after this, and if you haven't been showing up a bit early to check out the pre-show recap, it's really, really wonderful. We're so appreciative of Dicey Amazons and Feng Fu Pai for doing those every week for us. So come a little bit early and check those out. But here's my quick version. The crew was in trouble on that planet, in that comm station. All kinds of machines and robots were attacking, trying to get them out of there, trying to keep them from whatever information was held in those databanks. And it didn't go great for a while. Hacking attempts failed, attacks failed. People were getting shot and confused and angry and insecure about their lives. Left and right, Koseh was nearly taken out at one point. At the last moment, was kept in the scene just barely with a clutch move from Ilay, but things were looking rough. Eventually, however, the crew managed to disable the robots. Silent 919 has now taken at least partial possession of one of the robots and named it Silona, and we have returned Silona in tow to the sphere, where you all are having a chance to rest, recuperate, eventually maybe have a look at some of the data that you downloaded or decide what to do with it, and then figure out what is next in your journey to discover more about the mysterious machines. Did I miss anything huge?
Michael?
We talk enough about
reading his notes from last week.
interior life.
Yep.
Yeah, well, there's that, of course.
I was looking at notes. No, I was in ADHD mode too, but from what I heard during ADHD mode, it seems like you got it.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. I mean, it's good to have a backup because it's also this week, especially. It's been 2 weeks. Time is a flat circle.
Mhm.
All right. Well, then that's where we are. You all are back aboard the sphere. We'll say that you have left the planet and you are, sort of in orbit there above the planet. deciding what to do next and recuperating. And we'll start. You all had a chance. Some of you went to Med Lab to get a little patched up. I believe Ilay, I think it was, went to the meditation room to sort of center themselves a little bit as well, because they had a fair bit of mental stress. So why don't we say that you all took that time for the rest of that day and that evening, patched yourselves up mentally and physically, and we find ourselves the next morning.
Hold on, can I spin down some of my stress?
Of course you can. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So everybody should spin down each of your stresses by 1 step. For the good night's sleep that you all got.
It's still pretty bad over here, but that's
it's
good.
Not
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah. It's not looking great, but it's looking better. That's true. That's true. We will, so we'll zoom in on the sphere the next day after you all have had a chance to get some sleep, to get some rest, to recuperate a little bit. And we will say that you all are awakened the next morning, or maybe you were already up, but you are all gathered together because there is a communication from Major Rafia, and she would like to speak with all of you. And of course, you can do that from anywhere, but Major asks Sila 919, Commander, would it be all right if you moved me to the all comms system for the ship? I'm sure many of you are in the midst of important activities and wouldn't want to interrupt more than is necessary.
Question, where's Invicta?
Invicta was brought back. She knocked her head a little bit when she did the cannonball special. Incredibly effective, I must tell you. But she landed on her noggin and was knocked out for the remainder of the scene. You were protected and kept away from the gunfire. Brought aboard. It was not a serious injury. So you were taken to Med Lab, patched up, and you are just fine. I imagine you have a bit of a headache, but beyond that, you are just fine this morning.
All right.
So as Major Rafia gets switched over to the all call on the ship, you all, wherever you are at the moment, and we'll see where each of you are in just a moment, but wherever you are at this moment, you hear the Major come across the comms, and she just says, it's good to reach you all. I know that you have been chasing down that signal for quite some time. I've been monitoring the ship's communications as best I can, keeping track of you all when possible, but I'm hoping for a status update. I know that where you are, it may be early, so if you would like to take some time, collect whatever data and intel you have so far, collate it, and respond later, that's fine. But know that we are all here at Torch anxiously awaiting whatever information you can give us on these machines.
Did you say anxiously? Oh, hold on. And then she goes and finds like a little intercom. Did you say anxiously 3 times because you're actually very anxious, or is that part of your verbal tick? I can't tell.
There is a moment of silence, and the Major replies, yes, in fact.
Yes, to which?
Yes, you're anxious?
Well, yes, to both. My verbal tick tends to manifest when in high stress situations.
Okay. And I think she takes that opportunity, like she's looking around because she isn't sure if this is somehow like video conferenced in. And she was just sitting in like a big fuzzy robe in the med bay, eating like just a ton of candy and not working. And
what
now
color?
She's like, it's for sure like a mixture of purple and blue.
Perfect. Carry on.
Blue is her favorite flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little blurple cotton candy action.
Yes.
And she's now slinking back towards like where she has put all of like her little lab setup and where all that data is. And she's like, I make it work.
I love it. if anyone else would like to respond, otherwise, she'll say, "It's good to hear that your spirits are not diminished, Koseh, and I assume that goes for the rest of the crew as well. Don't mind me. If you could open a channel to HQ whenever you have an opportunity to transmit data and give us an update. But for now, I will leave you all to your mornings. Over and out."
Would
That
anyone
was
care for
weird.
breakfast?
And then you hear Silent 919 over the same all call wherever you are. Offer, will you say it again for us, Silent?
Would anyone care for breakfast?
It depends. What's the breakfast?
Silona has prepared a buffet style meal if you would all meet in the dining hall.
Wait, you got the robot to do cooking? And Koseh's gonna like limp, like sort of like limping sprint in. She wants to see robot breakfast.
Yeah.
And Kimba like pulls up
I would like to
behind
be-
Koseh and just like tries to like put an arm out so that she can
Thanks.
doesn't have to like limp.
Oh,
Sweet.
I love it.
She will use her other hand to just jam a bunch, like waits for an opportunity to just jam a bunch of cotton candy in his mouth as she is helped.
That'll wake you up first thing in the
Yeah.
morning.
Be quite
wasn't
fair,
aware of what
Silona
time
is a
it was.
sous chef.
Is a sous? You were the
Silona
primary
is
chef.
a sous chef. Thank you.
You said, Captain, Commander, what is your title? you said that Silona made it.
But I helped, and basically, since I did the programming, I did the bulk.
Okay.
Okay. Ilay, where have you? Where are you this morning when all of this is happening? When you get the call to breakfast?
I woke up
Hi.
and I at least downloaded the data from my rose gold digital pad device
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
to wherever I would assume I talked to Koseh where we should store our data on the ship. So I did that. I accidentally pulled it out as it was going, but I put
Oh,
it back
no.
in. So it kind of took a while and I just had to make sure it was fine.
Right.
And then I make my way over to the breakfast.
Okay. And Invicta, your head wound was not so bad that you needed to spend the night in medbay unless you really wanted to. So how's Invicta feeling this morning?
She's a little grumpy and she's like, you know, like when you've had a wild night and you're just kind of doing that walk of like, oh God, no one talked to me. If sunglasses exist, we haven't decided if sunglasses exist on Vitoa. She is wearing sunglasses. Her hair is just down and loose. And she's wearing like a black fluffy robe.
Yes, I think they're like solar radiation visors, right? Like they're real dark.
I feel like it's only the raddest, like the literal word, the raddest sunglasses if you have them.
Yes.
Yes, of course. I love
But
that.
also, are we robe friends in the med bay right now?
I actually really love the idea that you're both in robes that are like very opposite in color palettes.
Yes.
I do love that. It's All right.
Invicta. She's in her black fluffy robe, like
Yeah, just like
the same robe she had on when her cousin like told her to like number herself.
Dragged her out of bed. I love it. All right, so several berobes Hyanol and the rest of the crew. That sounds like the start of a joke. Meet you all. You all meet together in the mess. And all right, Commander, what did you and Silona attempt to make? And Silona did a mostly good job, although fine motor skills that don't involve like shooting intruders. You know, there is a bit of trial and error. But what did you cook up for the crew?
There's room for growth. So upon
That's right.
walking into the kitchen and into the dining area, you do see that there are 2 long stem candles that are set in the middle of the table. There's actually a table and there are place cards. Silona and Sila are both wearing, well, Sila is wearing like a 1950s, like full out swing dress fit and flare retro with a crinoline underneath and an apron. And Silona is wearing like a Hawaiian style shirt with ties at the bottom and a pair of like clam diggers with kids, and also wearing a robe. Her also wearing
Yeah,
she's wearing
obviously.
she's wearing a
Everyone.
So everything is set up, and there are like skillet fried potatoes with diced onions and tomatoes, and there's grits, and then there's fried chicken, and then there's also sausage, there's pork cracklings, and it's like a full out spread. There's also some rice pudding and cornbread, and so it's basically like that's what my grandma used to make for breakfast. She used to like make like everything. So all of that is like spread out on the table, buffet style. It's a very nice place setting because before we left, Sila made sure that she actually got some nice china so that when you all had a down moment, it could feel very homey.
Oh,
So she's trying to make sure that we all have a nice family breakfast so that we can just kind of decompress and maybe talk about the events and how we'd like to move forward.
I love that. I do want to know one thing that Silona kind of borked. Like, what's the one thing that Silona like needs to be reprogrammed to do properly?
So Sila turns around, and that's when she sees the smoke like billowing out the sides of the middle oven, because there are 3 stacked ovens. Thank you very
Obviously.
much.
Yep.
So right there in the middle, she goes and she opens it. Silona, what temperature did you put the quiche on?
4,500 degrees.
Oh, it was 450 degrees. So it's a little you did your absolute best, and I am proud of you for trying.
Error by factor of 10.
Okay, we're gonna try that again. Do we have a backup in the fridge?
Yeah, yes.
Why does it smell like smoke in here?
Perfect timing.
It's
Oh, there is smoke in here. Why is there smoke in here, Cap?
The quiche
We were
was
making
burned
smoked
at
salmon.
4,500 degrees.
I can't tell which of you lied.
it's a new mesquite recipe, and we just cooked it too long.
Mesquite.
Miss Quiche?
Invicta
Does
gives
smell like
Ilay
burnt
the
cheese.
dirtiest look.
Sorry.
This is Michael saying that, not Ilay.
Silly. It wasn't though, but it got me.
Oh my god, it was beautiful.
It got Christina. Nobody else. It got Christina me though.
I'm a professional. I'm laughing on the
not.
inside of my head.
Okay. Yeah. So Silona and Silent Diamond 9 seem to have differing stories here as you all walk in to see the smoke.
Ikemba, let's play good cop, bad cop. Dibs on bad cop. We're gonna find out who lied.
Does it really
And she
matter
cracks her
who
knuckles
lied?
and is like, ow, I don't want to play.
I can
Be the
understand why I
bad
wanted to
cop.
play that game. I don't think it really matters who lied. What matters is that whatever this was, it's not
Yeah, it's
Kindness
really
to my
bad.
nose.
Thank you for making breakfast, Cap.
Thank you.
Everyone, find your name on the place cards and get ready for a lovely family meal.
Place cards.
All right, who am I sitting next to?
Okay, so here's our table arrangement.
Of course, you know.
Obviously.
Obviously.
So
Yep.
Captain is at the head of the table. On the opposite end of the table is Ikemba. On either side, closest to her on the right-hand side is Invicta and Koseh. And then next to Koseh is Ilay, and then Ikemba is directly to the right of Invicta.
Okay.
So there's an open space on Ikemba's left, from what I heard. And I would like to
Well-
pull. Oh, go ahead. Is that where Silona's sitting?
It is.
Okay.
I assume
but
Silona was at the foot of the table.
I hope you don't think that I forgot about TV, because yes, there is a little tiny picnic table set up right at the end off to the side. And it's like a little cutout picnic table with a little place card on top of it and a little tiny candle that is there for Tiwi.
Koseh was about to like try to make a little quick place card and then sees it and goes, oh, yay! And I go and put TV in his spot.
Yeah.
He doesn't eat, but he can enjoy the candle.
There's just a little charger port right there so that TV can charge.
Aw, that's
He
Tiwi's
immediately sits
breakfast.
on it.
Yeah.
He's just ass up on the thing, like,
Yeah, charge it up. I love it. For what it's worth, despite the quiche debacle, the food is quite good. You know, Sila knows what she's doing, and you have a very fancy kitchen on board. So between that, you know, don't eat the quiche, but other than that, it's a nice breakfast. I loved Sila 919's unprompted suggestions that breakfast be a time to reflect and also decide what's next.
So I started downloading all the images, Koseh, to the place you wanted me to, at least I think I did. And then I'm going to start analyzing them. I don't know if anyone wants to check over my work.
you should trust your work, but I'm going to check over it, but that's not because I don't trust you.
Okay. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's and then I'm gonna send it to Invicta. What was the name of your professor again?
What's the name of my
Dr.
professor?
Dr. Niero.
Dr. Niero.
Wait, why are you sending it to Dr. Nero? He makes ships.
He does more than ships.
Okay.
I was going to send it over to him to once I figure out what it does, just that someone else has eyes on it, because maybe he'll see something more than what we will. I mean, the more eyes on it, the better, I would guess.
Unless he's a secret robot. And then she goes back to eating just a plate full of rice pudding.
Just the rice pudding, though.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, what should we do going forward? I know that that's how I can contribute to what we should do next regarding these adversaries.
Have any feelings about what we've just experienced, or think that maybe we should have a space where everyone feels as if they can voice how they're feeling? Like if I were feeling that, what's that word for when people, something is like
Scary.
Traumatizing.
Ooh.
yes,
What was that
Yeah.
word, Ikemba?
Angry.
no. The trauma one, the traumatizing one.
Yeah.
Is that not a, just kind of keep going through these things, and so I just figured little comfort food and conversation. And she like takes a sip of her oil.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was unconscious for a good chunk of that, so
You got off easy.
Yeah.
a disembodied voice says.
Oh no, you have a concussion. Are you hearing the voice?
Yeah.
Sounds surprisingly like Eugenio.
Who?
Oh, I'm so sorry if that's what your concussion voice sounds like.
Concussion voice of an angel. It was bad. I didn't like it. I almost died a little bit. This is why I normally stay on my ship. This is very good. This is good.
Thank you. I used the Irene protocols.
Irene?
Mm-hmm. Irene protocols. It's a native Black woman from a mythical town called Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah, Ale Bama.
I'm not going to pronounce it right. I'm never going to not have a spoonful of this in my mouth, but thank you.
Yes, Ale Bama, and they have great recipes in Ale Bama.
I'll have to remember that. And I'm just gonna eat whatever vegetarian greatness you've made.
Oh, there's some greens in the middle, and there's
Oh,
greens
yeah.
that have no meat added over off to the side.
We're doing the
So
greens.
There's hot sauce too.
Hot
The
sauce.
salt. Got you. See the salt, a little bit of juice. Anyway, man, I'm hungry. But
I know, right?
Is
sorry,
anyone
it's-
else
it's
traumatized?
manifesting in game.
Me? No. I felt pretty steadfast during that whole thing. Well, I was worried there for you for a bit there, Koseh. But after my trip to the holographic room and meditating, I feel much better.
And Koseh and Invicta, I have a question for you.
Hmm.
Were the robes intentional?
No.
Did you have a slumber party of sorts?
No.
Yes, we did, but she doesn't remember because she's concussed.
I
want that.
was
picture.
unconscious. I don't have memory loss.
You just don't remember. We had such a nice time.
I doubt that.
We talked and talked and talked.
I doubt that.
It was lovely.
So are you sure Koseh didn't get the concussion?
Oh, I for sure was concussed. I'm deeply damaged physically and emotionally. I'll be very
So
clear.
this is all for you, because I know I let Ikemba toss me. I hit my head and everything went black. I would have to be a whole other person for this to happen.
I would like to apologize for landing on your head. Sorry about that. I thought I had better control of my hands.
Remarkably effective, though.
It worked, didn't it?
Yes, but now you have a headache. If anything, I would like to see you in the med bay later to assist you in your
Just
headache
an aggressive,
situation.
just don't aggressively heal me like my cousin. And she just starts
Yeah.
rubbing like her forehead, and she's just like, "Oh God, my hair's down. No one sees me. It's my hair down. No one perceived me." And she like pulls up the hood of her robe.
Silas
Oh,
stands
mine
up with a blowtorch.
What are you doing?
Oh God.
Is there creme brulee here?
There's breakfast creme brulee. I was just gonna prepare it if you were ready for the next course.
Silona has walked in with a tray of ready to go creme brulees.
Raise your hand if you do not want your creme brulee.
And Invicta like raises a hand. She's like, "We're dairy,
See?
remember?
See,
Dairy."
that's bestie talk.
Oh, I actually
No.
have made
Yes, thank you, best friend.
lactose safe.
No.
I've got a lactose safe creme brulee for Invicta. Everyone has their special needs met at this breakfast.
Invicta's incredibly suspicious. She's like, "Am I still unconscious? Is this all in my head?"
Well, what I'm about to say is not going to make it better for Invicta, but there are more than enough ramekins of creme brulee because, you know, maybe you want more than one. Maybe something goes wrong. And so as you all are having this conversation, Silona has set them down on the table, on one corner of the table. And as you're having the conversation about the lactose-free creme brulee, you hear Silona go, bruleeing of creme brulee commencing, and pulls out its gun arm and points it and fires at one of the creme brulees, which just rockets everywhere in a million directions. So creme brulee just everywhere.
Not the creme brulee.
Only
You
one
can
though. The rest
have
are
the
still there.
quiche. Killed a dessert.
Bruleeing
think-
of creme brulee initiating.
There it is.
No. I'll finish those. I'll finish those. You grab the after dinner cappuccinos over there. Thank you.
Potter's
Not
over
the
to the
what?
apparently the
Coffee?
espresso machine. Yeah.
If she shoots the
If you're gonna
coffee, I'm
put an
deprogramming
espresso
her.
machine in the kitchen. This is a
Great.
custom. It actually comes up out of the sink off to the side.
Oh.
Because that way nothing is super cluttered. Everything rises up out of the sink, out of the space that it's in.
Oh,
So,
like the appliances or the
love that.
fixtures. Oh, I do like that actually. That's very
love
cool.
that for me in this kitchen. Yeah, so I'm gonna prepare this. I'll have Silena go prepare the espresso. And
Great.
please tell me the creme brulee that was destroyed was not Invicta's.
No. It was one of the regular ones. Those are very carefully set off on the other side.
I ate some of the splash. This has dairy in it.
It's just breaking out.
I've over prepared, so there's enough for extras. We are okay.
Invicta just looks at Ikemba. Can you just knock me out?
Why would I do that?
This has to be a hallucination.
I feel quite real, so I'm guessing it's not.
Ikemba like poke Ikemba.
Ribs.
You can poke me again if you like. It's not going to change the fact that I'm awake, and so are you.
What do ribs have to do with knocking me out?
I'm not going to knock you out. Touche.
Oh.
I see what she means now.
Are you trying to give me the itis?
Well,
So,
you said
wait.
that you thought you were knocked out. If you would like to be, we can prepare a meal that accommodates your needs. This is about accommodating the needs of the crew.
And the Ikemba just leans in really close to Invicta and just, would you not like to eat a meat product prepared by a chef that could make all of the things that we like? I'm guessing you'd be okay with that, because if you don't want the ribs, I'll happily eat them myself.
And I just lean back into Ikemba. This is weird. What happened?
We nearly lost a crewmate, is what happened. Or at least they were in severe danger. So
we didn't do all this. We nearly
in many situations how our captain, major, commander, Sila, has a tendency to attempt to ease the stress of the crew. This is nothing new. It's a bit different than normal. And now she has a robot companion to help her to make even more things. So, on a nicer ship than we've been on previously, as a robot companion, helping our captain to make things delicious for all of us. How does this not seem normal to you?
We almost lost Barshin and didn't have a party.
True, but
I've been hurt. You've been hurt.
We saw Bertrand in the hospital, if I remember correctly. We've not been on the same ship as Bertrand. We're not on the move with Bertrand. Since when has Captain Sila 919 not wanted to keep her crew in good spirits and good health?
Also, it's pretty typical that the way that she solves the solution is by giving one or more of us indigestion. So
this is true.
Hmm.
Overeating is a regular thing on our ship. This is nothing new.
There's
you remember
this-
the cheese and me and the meat sweats and the cheese.
You
sweats.
ate. You did that to yourself.
But I was provided with enough cheese to do so. And then he just like puts his hand to the whole table. You've been provided with enough things to eat to knock yourself out as well, and you were just offered more. So tell me how this isn't normal on our ship.
I would have to say that it's a pretty good strategy. It's hard to focus on trauma if your body is having a hard time processing something. So it seems to be effective so far.
Don't forget the cotton candy garnish to go on top of your creme brulee.
While this
I
conversation
forgot
was
about the cotton
happening,
candy.
there's a second and third shatter sound as Koseh got tired of waiting for Cap with the creme brulee torch, and she pulled out her plasma cutter and she's exploded two of them trying to use that as a brulee torch. And you just hear like a little pop and a squeak, and then she just brushes it off the table into a trash can.
Right. Yeah. This
Tries
isn't an
again.
explosion like the other one. This is just like you've just seared a hole straight through the,
Like
through
a
the
little
dish.
bit.
He
Yeah.
just leans forward, looking past the bot, and just goes, is everything all right?
I'm fine, thank you.
Right. Would you?
Can I have the normal brulee torch? Because a plasma cutter doesn't do what you think it would do.
Well,
For
I
sugar.
think it does.
You tried to use a plasma torch
I don't have a
On
different
a
torch.
dairy-free creme brulee.
No, I was gonna eat the dairy one because I don't care.
And he understands the physiology behind
Right.
all, and he's just like,
Yeah.
you're going to eat the dairy creme brulee.
Yeah.
And he just looks like,
Good thing we got our own rooms.
and then he just is it visible to tell which of them are the dairy and which are not?
I think so. I think the ones that aren't, I think all of you had 2, because that seems important in this moment. So there are like 4 at the bottom of the tray that are obviously set apart, that are the non-dairy ones.
Ikemba reaches and grabs one and says, Salona, may I borrow your torch for a moment?
Oh, Silona's making the cappuccino, but she's
Oh,
about,
perfect.
it's about to come back.
Sila, I have mine. You can have mine.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Thank you very much, Captain. And he just like torches it and just, please, I would like to have a creme brulee. If you could not pop and scoot this one off the table, that would be absolutely fantastic. I would love to have one of these. But this one is prepared just for you. Blow it out when you're ready. And he just like reaches for one of the other ones. Can I have this?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry for blowing up like half of your brulees.
That was only 2 of them. She made lots more.
And you see like a little moment of like, this isn't over with the plasma gun, but she lets it go and eats her other one and just nods quietly.
As you start eating that one, Silona comes back in with a tray of cappuccinos, and the cappuccinos are pristine. You know, the foam is at exactly the same level in every glass. Silona, however, is covered in milk foam. No idea how. There's not a drop of it out of place on the tray, but this robot is head to toe covered, head to wheel, I don't know, covered in milk foam. And sets the tray, or I guess serves out to each of you a cappuccino non-dairy for the Hyanol, and then turns to you, Silent 919, and says, non-language image analysis of uploaded data is complete.
Can you show me?
How does Silona show you? Silona has a chest compartment that opens up, and there's a little display screen there, and you see little bits of the various images and data downloads that Ilay and Koseh collected yesterday. Begin to flash by, and you see that basically what has happened, what the ship's systems have done, is separated out everything that is language based that you all don't understand because you can't read or decipher this language, from schematics and diagrams and images and things like that. So what you have now, what you're seeing now flash across Silona's view screen are the various images from all the stuff that you all downloaded. And they go by fairly quickly, but I think the combination of the 5 of you would be able to pick out a few things flashing by because they are recognizable. You see a few things. You see what some of you, probably the bio priests, and possibly Ilay as well, would pretty quickly recognize as genetic sequences. You can see imaging of what looks like genetic code, several different ones. And then you also see, you can't tell what they are because they go by really fast, but there are very obviously images of molecular structures. So clearly some sort of analysis of something, some substance. And I think those, and then you see star charts, which you all immediately recognize as they flash by because they're the most familiar stars in the galaxy. These are star charts of the Vitoan system. You can certainly go through them and look more closely, but that's just what Silona sort of breezes past you very quickly in this moment.
Can we go ahead and send those over to Major Rafia?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Silona and the ship will send those, and we'll send, with your permission, we'll also send all of the language-based stuff, just send everything that you all collected. And you all obviously will still have access to it, so if you want to do any analysis on the ship, that's also fine. But yeah, that can get sent out to Torch right away.
Is there anything we see that maybe looks suspicious enough for us to hold on to before giving it to Torch, or are we gonna is everything something we could send to them?
Oh, interesting. What would make you suspicious, do you think?
seeing a name in the code of a file as it was flashing through.
Oh, interesting. No, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think there's anything that would, yeah. Yeah, no. I love a bit of intrigue.
Leading the witness, Your Honor.
Not reading, I know. I love a bit of intrigue, but also not being able to read that language is a real hindrance.
Is it a different lettering system?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Can we buy a vowel?
Are any of the life signs ones that don't belong to Vitoa?
That's a good question. You didn't notice anything that looked, it's so funny to use this word in sci-fi settings, but there's nothing that looks super alien. There's nothing that's super unrecognizable to you. Again, and you certainly can, if you want to call them up and look more closely, you can, but you didn't notice anything like so out in left field that it was very obviously, out of place.
Is there a copy I can have to analyze it?
Oh yeah, I think everything right now, because it sounds like Ilay uploaded stuff to the ship, and Koseh, I assume you sort of did the same to start analysis?
Yeah, I think she would have definitely taken everything that everyone pulled and has scrubbed it so it's fairly uniform. And yeah, if anyone's got like a port that they would like access to it, that's very easy to have like made sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone
And it's
can
also
see
it's also stored on the ship's databases, so anywhere that you can jack into the ship itself.
There's a Google Doc.
There's Space Google, excuse you.
Space Google Doc.
So yes, you can absolutely have a copy of everything that Ilay and Koseh collected. Oh, I just remembered something. Ikemba, you got coordinates for another signal going out. Would you have also put that in the systems, or do you keep that to yourself for now?
Of course, I would have. I passed that to everybody and put it wherever possible to spread the word.
All right, so that's everything that you would have access to then. Invicta would be straight up pictures that Ilay took of every written on surface, every screen that they could find, the data that Koseh downloaded, and then the coordinates and trajectory of comm signals that Ikemba got from the platform.
Sir, can we, is it okay if we know how the number system works in this language now? Because there's no universe in which we saw another set of coordinates and weren't able to immediately go like, oh, okay, this is there, and then like whatever base system we run in.
Yeah, and you all have also seen several countdowns now, so like that's the most basic of ways to learn numbers, right? So yeah, I do think the numbering system, I don't know how much it illuminates their language, but numbers are numbers, right? So you recognize
Koseh does not care about the written language. He's like, we have a perfect translation. The numbers are there. Nothing else matters.
That's a fair point. So yeah, I do think you have, you have a basic understanding of it's base 10. We'll make it easy and sort of go from there.
You could challenge me and not make it base 10, but we don't.
Yeah, but then I would be challenging me too, and I'm very bad at not base 10. I'm better if it's like base more than 10, but less than melts my brain.
Sure.
Invicta understood that. Tanya's here like,
Sorry. Just completely and unnecessarily nerded out about really esoteric math nonsense. Cool. It sounds like we want to dig into this stuff. We have some questions about this stuff before we maybe contact Rafia or do whatever you all want to do. Does that feel right in this moment? Do we want to maybe take a few and
Koseh,
look at, you tell me.
Koseh would definitely be like, hold on. We should decide what we think this is before we send it.
Great.
I need my headache worked on before I do any calculations.
Silona starts walking towards you and
No.
Coffee.
and hands you a coffee. No, definitely backs off
It's
as soon
good
as
for
you
headaches.
say no.
I'm like, this thing had a laser and it shot the brulee. That's not how I want my headache alleviated.
Look, brulees are very fragile and can die lots of ways. I'm kind of back on Silona's side on this one.
Did you just say brulees die? And then the camera just sits back and just I've heard a lot of things today. That's
Oh
new.
no. Oh no, I think the headache is catching.
And Invicta just looks over at Ikemba. Can you do anything for my headache? I'll bribe you in cheese.
You don't have to bribe me in cheese. All I
I
needed
want
to hear was
to.
that you were interested. Excuse us for a moment as we head to the med bay. So he like walks her to the med bay to make sure that if he's doing it, he's gonna use the additional tools to make sure that she is as good as possible.
Yeah. Yep. Check what the check exactly, if you can figure out what's causing the headache and blah, blah, blah. So that absolutely. It'll take a few minutes, but this is a fairly simple and routine use of both the med bay and your abilities. So no rolls required to cure a headache. I trust you, Ikemba.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So while those two very, very quickly are heading off, the three of you who remain, what are you doing? And then we'll bring them back to you all.
I would like to get all the pictures that I've taken, and I'm going to start handwriting all of them, like replicating it, because maybe that will jog my mind in a different way.
Oh, I like that.
And so I want to kind of learn how to at least write this language. I'll write the numerals, and then I'll try and just start writing whatever symbols I see after like that, and just try and keep like a running kind of ledger of each little symbol I see, so I know like things aren't duplicates or
right.
unique, like some unique anomalies in the language that will key us into something. Cool. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like decoding the letters of the alphabet of the language. Yeah, I love that. Great. Cool. Sila and Koseh? Excuse me.
Koseh's gonna scooch over, watching Ilay work, and sees what they're doing. And it's like, oh, okay. Can I see your tablet really quick?
Oh, sure. Yes.
And as you like pick a symbol that you're like working on, or like a repeated like what we think a word is, because we're not super sure about like the constructed nature of this language. The scrubbing that she did on the data means that like everything can be indexed by like, if you pick it, it'll pull it up by frequency. So she's just sort of using the tablet to be like, here's like the amount of times it like that sequence has like been pulled up, and it's just giving you data and is trying to tailor the scrub of her data to like back up whatever you're sort of doing internally. And it's just sort of cheering you on and trying to help whatever you're working on.
We're totally about that. That's gonna happen.
I love that. I will circle back, because I think even that sort of level of like pattern recognition with the language is gonna get you all started, at least sort of, figuring out, are these individual sounds? Are they phonemes? Are they words? How is it constructed? The very basics of the written language. So I love that. We'll get back to it. Sala.
Like that. So as Sila is still processing the code, she's also cleaning the kitchen. So she can just kind of move around and do that. So she's getting everything in her kitchen organized, making sure everything gets put away. And she's just also like kind of explaining to Silona like why this is necessary and all of these things. It all goes back to protocol. Everything is a part of the process, and it's all a part of our day-to-day. And this is how we take care of our home and our friends. Yes, everyone on the ship must be taken care of. Not taken care of in the way that you used to do that. So please don't think that I mean take care of them as far as needs met, basic needs met. Does that make sense?
Affirmative. Friend and crew are synonyms.
Not in all cases, but in our case, yes, because we'll get into that at another time. We'll have it in our next session with Delilah.
Affirmative. Conditional definitions of words exist.
Captain, thank you for breakfast. Also, are you traumatized? We didn't ask you.
I am processing all feelings, and working through them with a professional, and as I get no, not okay, but okay is a part, not being okay is a part of the process.
Okay, what would help you?
I've just done what I needed to do to take care of myself, and that was to take care of all of you.
Thank you for taking such good care of us.
Sally, you mentioned processing some code. Was that something from the data that you specifically wanted to look at? And if so, was there a particular thing you wanted to look into? Were you also wanting to go through the language? Were you wanting to go through some of those images?
She's still just going through the languages and trying
Okay.
to decipher them, and by just running them through every processor that she can.
Got it. You got it. Okay. So the three of you working on that. Invicta and Ikemba, you all get to the med bay, and we can certainly play out the healing if you want. But like I said, it's a fairly simple, straightforward thing. So I am more curious what happens once Invicta is feeling better and now can clear-headed make a choice about what's next.
So, Ikemba, what happened when I got knocked out?
Went up for the cannonball. We hit the door, and then we hit the floor. And before we hit the floor, you hit your head on the upper door. So when we landed, it was not a comfortable landing for you.
Well, I figured that much, but I mean, what happened with the robots?
We fought the robots. We, as you can see, Siler has hacked into one of them. I tried to hack. There's a lot of battling. And then we basically shut them all down.
Did I really have a party with Koseh?
I would imagine so. I'm not sure personally, though.
Ikemba, come on, don't mess with me.
I'm not. I would never. You're both high, though. She respects you highly. Would not surprise me if, in your concussed state, you engaged in a soiree of sorts.
And she just stares at Ikemba. The truth. I want the absolute truth.
I just gave it to you.
You saw that we didn't get off to the best start. Why do you think I would do this?
Just because you don't get off to the best start doesn't mean you don't have something in common. You don't have something that you both might enjoy, like a party. You never know. Have you had a party with Koseh before?
No.
You seem offended, but I don't think you really are.
Just because I give you cheese doesn't mean that I'll let you get away with this.
And just because you give me cheese and you're letting me get away with this doesn't mean you might not enjoy a soiree with a fellow Hyeno, who also just so happens to be quite technically capable.
Well, I don't think it happened. And I don't get the chance to show off that I'm technically capable, so.
All I'm saying is I wasn't in the room where it happened, so I can't be too sure.
I'm going to walk by as I'm going to like one of there's like the void and solar room that I had on the ship. And I'm just going to like open the door really quickly. Invicta, you did not in fact have that sleepover if it's ailing you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
They're lying.
And I just keep
You
walking.
can't hear us.
From like
You're not
deep
there.
in the bowels of the ship. As Ilay walks on, after dropping that little truth bomb, you all hear the ship's alarms. You hear, in fact, the alarm that indicates a distress signal. But after a moment, you all realize that none of a distress signal gets sort of routed to the whole ship because Torch protocol is that a distress signal is to be investigated and helped if possible. So the whole ship would be notified, but you don't notice any of the visual alarms or anything like that going off for this distress call. And it takes you a moment, but you realize that you are all hearing this distress call inside your own heads.
I'm sorry, what?
That's where we're going to take our break this week.
Yes, that's incredible.
Oh man.
We are going to take a quick little break to take care of ourselves, and you all should do the same. We'll be back in about 5 to 10, so don't go too far. And we'll be back shortly to find out who is sending psychic distress calls, I guess.
So the call is coming from inside the house.
From inside the head, in fact, yes.
I was just about to say that. Beat me to it.
That's so good. I love it. Mull over that, and we'll see you shortly. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. See you soon. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking around. And if you've just joined us, welcome to episode 8, season 3 of Into the Motherlands. We left our crew just having had a lovely eclectic breakfast with only a few culinary mishaps during it, just as the crew was beginning to break up from breakfast and begin analysis of some of the data that they found down on the planet that they just left. They all received distress signals, but after a few moments of thinking about it, I suppose, they realized that the distress signals were not being picked up by the ship, but rather were inside their own heads. So it feels like the first thing that I should do is say, what you doing about that?
Scylla hears the alarm going off in her head and thinks that it's a sign that she's supposed to be doing an open beacon. So she tilts her head back and opens her mouth, and the intercom system that's inside her comes out. It's just like,
I miss this though. Yeah.
What room were you in?
Does it matter? You all heard
she's
it.
still in the kitchen.
Oh, cool. That was definitely like 3 feet away from Koseh, and she screams
yeah.
and falls off of like the bench she was sitting at.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why?
Why did you do? Why? I can hear it, but you didn't need to verbalize it.
No, if I was too far away to yell at you when you're having your conversation, you're too far away for this.
Back.
No,
I'm
we preserve the fiction.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, that's a phrase I'm going to have to remember. We must preserve the fiction.
Well, fine. I didn't hear it.
I love it. I think you heard it, just maybe not quite as loudly as we all just heard it.
Are Ikemba and I still in the med bay then?
I think you can be on your way from the med bay, but it just happened as you all were sort of leaving that area. Yeah.
I'd like stop. It's like, Ikemba, do you hear that?
But it doesn't. It's not the ship's alarm.
It's.
Yeah, and then he
Can I
immediately
open
puts
the
his
door
finger
and
like
be like-
toward the place where they pulled out the metal chip from his head. Just
Interesting.
I'm gonna open the door really quickly. It's not just me, I hope.
not at all.
No, not just you.
To the med bay. I'm curious of something.
We're already in the med bay, right?
I thought we
No,
were on
we
the
were
way
in the
away
hall.
from the med bay.
Oh,
So, like,
okay.
Ikemba wants to take
okay.
them back to the med bay and use the med bay to see if he can sense the metal chips. And like they're quiet and they're just like, what's going on, Ikemba? And he's like, if you remember, there was something removed from behind my ear. I've never heard anything from my mind that was not my creation. This has to be something that was embedded in us. If it happened to me, the likelihood is that it happened to someone else when we weren't paying attention. I want to find out more. So he's just walking to the med bay, telling them this as they're walking so that he can try to scan for that immediately upon arrival at the med bay.
Yeah. So you explain that. You explain that to Ilay and Invicta, who are with you. And as you get to the medbay, you begin scanning, and at first you don't pick up anything, which maybe isn't so surprising. You know, if it was that easy to detect, you probably would have seen it, noticed it long before. And as you begin to, sort of do more detailed scans, probe a little deeper, try and figure out what's going on, the distress alarm sort of like pulls back, and you hear a voice. And again, all of you hear the same thing. And again, it is in all of your heads, except for maybe Silent 919, who may or may not still be broadcasting this. I don't know. And the voice says, "My deepest apologies, Ikemba. This is not an implant. I would never contact any of you like this without permission, but we are in dire need. Please, crew of the sphere, we need your help."
Who is this?
Who?
Wait, we can all hear this?
How'd you get this number?
Who we are is less important in this moment than what our situation is. Not long ago, we were traveling through this sector and were hit by a large piece of space debris, a ship spinning out of control. We were not able to detect it, and perform evasive maneuvers in time. And we were shoved into the
Can I
gravity
stop
well.
you hear voice in my head?
The voice doesn't say anything, but you definitely like feel a little like, excuse me?
Like in the time it took you to tell me all of the stuff about you not dodging a ship good, you could just say who you are. I'm sorry, continue.
I think in fact there is almost like a little like fatalistic like half chuckle, just like, okay, that's how we're playing this. All right. And so the voice says, very well. Wait, we have a name, and I know it because I wrote it down. Shit.
Oops, sorry.
No, it's okay. I really do have it, and I should have had it in front of me, but now I don't remember where it is. Oh, here it is. Okay. The voice says, we are the Angobu, and our ship has been trapped by the gravity well of a black hole. Our ship's thrusters are slowing us down enough that we have not crossed the event horizon, but we cannot hold out much longer. Our engines and fuel levels are low, and we require assistance. Please, crew of the Sphere, we need your help.
Are you Vitoan?
There's a little pause, and then, no, we are from far away. We keep to ourselves mostly. We have not seen your like in many centuries.
What does that mean?
We are a insulated people. Our days of sailing the stars and interfacing with other species came to an end long ago. Now we mostly keep to ourselves, traveling when we must.
And doing a bad job of it. I'm sorry, can you hear that? I don't know how to keep it on the inside.
Totally neutral, but the voice says, we can.
Oh.
All right, where are you? What is it you think we can do for you?
You all add that question, Invicta, and you all may not be able to hear each other's voices voicing these questions, but you get a sense of the questions that are being asked through whatever this mental link is. So you understand that one of you asked for like a location, and you all begin to see sort of star charts in your mind, and it is whatever it is. You can tell me how you feel about it, but you basically it is like spaceship Earth type, spaceship Earth, Space Mountain, right? Like just like lights as you fly through these systems. But you understand that the black hole is, I mean, not close because you ain't getting sucked in, but like you could get to it fairly quickly, and you can see in your mind exactly where this ship is. Thrusters at full power pushing against the gravity at the center of the collapsed star, and just slowly but surely drifting inward toward the center of the black hole, slowed only by these what must be incredibly powerful engines to even keep them out this long. So you know how to get to where they are. It's not far, relatively speaking.
Okay, tripped and hit that event horizon. You hate to see it.
There's no plan for search and rescue out of a gravity well of a black hole for good reason. I don't know if we're going to. Personally, I think it's foolish, but yeah, I said my piece. And I imagine like everyone hears that. I'm just like, no, thank you.
Yeah, can you leave for an amount of time while we discuss if we're going to save your lives or not?
The voice says, of course, we have infringed upon your privacy long enough. By our calculations, we have approximately 12 of your standard hours before we cross the event horizon.
Looking at that burn pattern, I'm going to say 10 and a half max. Your 12 is ambitious, but like respect and keep on firing. We'll let you know. Thank you very much. What was your name, Megan?
There's a lot of versions of this name that I expected, but Megan wasn't one of them. The voice says, we are the Angobu.
No, I meant like you.
there's a pause, and then you feel like you feel like, no, I'm answering your question.
Yeah.
And the voice says again, we are the Angobu.
Cool. I'll hive mind. Thank you so much. We will get back to you at our earliest inconvenience. Koseh out. I don't know how to make this stop.
You all do feel sort of a severing of the connection at the end of Koseh out, I guess.
Just gonna verbally go, ew, I hated that.
That was bad. I didn't like it.
Wow. Ilay must have truly been offended on all of the levels by that.
Right? That was the most opinionated I have ever heard Ilay about something.
Hello.
Ilay is petty. Ilay is not like, I don't think I've heard Ilay say the word hate, but like petty, fantastic.
Right?
Like hate has never happened. So
They do be hating that. They do be
True.
hating when it just happened.
They do be hating.
Invicta is just kind of like shaking her head, kind of like she's almost like she's trying to get water out of her ear or something.
Yeah, totally.
Quick question. I don't remember.
Yeah, what's up?
Was it only Ikemba that had that disc, or did we all have that disc?
Just Ikemba.
Okay.
Hate it.
I look at
Ikemba
Ikemba.
hates it.
Mm-hmm.
Did that feel like that disc you had?
I have no idea how to tell whether or not it did. I don't remember feeling anything. And whoever made the
sleepy.
disc made it to where I couldn't actually sense it with my abilities. That's why I wanted to come to the med bay, because that is frustrating, to say the least. Because
Very.
were it something else, or were there more than one, we would be in an entirely different situation, and I would be frustrated beyond words.
Robots, people in our head.
Mhm.
I vote we just blow up the ship. We don't know if they're friendly.
Whoa. For real? Or is that the concussion talking?
No, that's me. They invaded our minds. We don't know if they're safe.
Okay, but if they invaded our minds in a way that was like scary, they would have made us do it instead of us getting to hang up on them.
I feel like it wasn't a hanging up on our end
Hey.
that made that connection disconnect.
We asked,
I feel like
and then
you
they
said
complied.
correct, but what if they didn't?
If they didn't, then yeah, let's shoot the ship. But they were as pleasant as you can be when you make a call.
It's not-
when you call your parents because you blew up the robotics lab, but you didn't want to call them.
I've never been there.
No.
before. This is new.
It's not pleasant what happened on the degrees of I have not felt like a child misogyn in a very long time. I like almost cussed right there. But
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We should do it. I want to hear an Ilay cuss.
That's for the finale. That's for the finale.
It's like when you're beginning to walk as a misogyn and you're still trying to feel identity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the stages you go through, is various until you figure out a voice. That was not fun for me. I don't know if I would, how do you say, fucking like to help them.
Well,
Language.
I'm not going to correct Ilay on language. That was perfectly fitting.
I'm just noting it.
It's I was curious after the hang up of whether or not that would be extra for you, Ilay, and I'm sorry that it was. It was invasive to me, used to my own mind. Thank you for explaining a bit of your experience with it. But it does also frustrate me because now we're dealing with an entity that can enter our minds at will.
That's why I say we blow them up.
Okay. We're back at blowing them up, and that feels wild to me.
I don't hate. Okay, we should not. We should.
Hold on. Isn't our
I
whole
thought about
purpose
blowing them
like
up for
what?
a moment. That's interesting to me.
I didn't take an oath of peace.
As as I must say.
You don't have to take an oath to understand that like the senseless loss of sapient life is like a thing to be avoided. I can't believe I'm the one arguing for this. That's crazy. Where are we as a group that I'm doing this?
I would like to say, as a bio priest,
Yeah.
I'm a fan of things being alive.
Yeah.
Which is why I was a vegetarian for so long.
Yeah.
But bacon's delicious, so obviously that makes sense. But of that,
Look, pigs are different.
When it comes to life, my opinion has not changed. Life is logical, so we can't destroy the ship because of their communication methods.
Yeah,
we can get closer to them to understand their link. If we could understand it, and if it's not something that could change us, we may be able to use it. The issue that I have with all of it is, when did they enter our minds? Was it when the alarm blared? Or was it while we were asleep and they've been listening this entire time?
Oh, you guys have a very old school backward sense of like individual privacy. Again, I'm not gonna make this about me trying to put isotopes in your blood again. But you all have a bunch of weird things about like your personal space that you should work out with.
You did say again.
You're a Hyanol too. We're not raised like this.
I mean, I know exactly how I was raised.
But we have a sense of privacy. We're not.
I feel like the conversation here is odd because Invicta, I understand your request for privacy. I understand that as well, but I don't get the feeling that Koseh would mind as much.
I'm unbothered, but I would love to move back to the main idea, which is, if I can be super honest, I said 10.5 hours, but depending on their fuel source, and I know nothing about their ship, it could be less. And I don't know, maybe let's help if we can help. And if they're bad people, there's a lot, the universe is really big. And there's lots of good and lots of bad everywhere. I almost got killed the other day. And look, one of them made us breakfast badly. I'm pretty good. She did a pretty good job. So I think there's a little bit of both everywhere you go. And I am not prepared to condemn a crew of person, I don't know what their sense of individuality is, to death just because of a weird, an inability to knock before entering. You know what I mean?
Question.
Yeah.
Would Ilay know if any of that, like, did they send like a test, like, can we link with these folks thing before this happened? Because I feel like Ilay would definitely be more of like used to. I feel like as a Misagi, you're a little bit more keyed into like your self-consciousness, your like your autonomy, like that voice in your, well, not voice in your head. That's probably the best way to say it. It starts as a voice
in your head, right? And then it becomes something else. But yeah.
Essentially, like, did that happen to us before the message, like before they were audible?
No, there was definitely a like, now that you understand what happened, you in particular, probably Ilay, sensed the connection being created as the alarm started in your head. Because it's almost as if the alarm was their attempt at being like, hey, by the way, we're here, before we start talking in your heads. And whether or not it was effective is entirely up to you all, but that's sort of the sense that you got, that you felt that connection in that moment and not before.
Yeah, I feel like it's like for Misagi, it's like, you know, for kids where they have like perception, or I forget what that's called, but like they're trying to figure out space and like and like if things exist when you don't see them. Like Ilay very much had that moment when that that happened. So
cool.
I guess I'll say to the crew,
Impermanence.
Yeah, impermanence. That's the other one. I don't think they were in our minds before they started the alarm.
You know that?
I would have felt that. It's a very, as a misjudge, it's a very, I feel like a child again, and I don't like it.
I have a theory. And this captain has not been in here this entire time. But she does walk in like in a full like captain's regalia, all white with the hat, like holding Silona, who's also dressed similarly, and like comes to him and goes, I think it's a trap. Disengage officer and a gentleman protocol, and like put Silona down from where she was carrying her. It sounds like a trap. They show up in our minds, and we're supposed to go and save them when we've run into constant situations of things being blown up, blown out of the sky. It just feels like a setup. But do we take that chance and risk lives? I think we take the chance.
Also, I'm just saying, if they're advanced enough to use telepathy, asking for help is the dumbest way to try to trick people into doing stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe if you're listening in on someone's head, you listen to the sound of the voice that they use for like introspective narrative, and then you start to insert your own ideas and slowly start to move them towards your idea. I haven't written a paper about this, but I have thoughts. So I do feel like they are doing the bare minimum to try to like, you know, be scary or threatening. And we can always kill them after. Let's at least knock the ship out of black hole. Do you know how much cool stuff black holes eat all the time? I hate black holes.
I am going to excuse myself and go to bed. And like, I don't know what the rest of the crew is doing, but like,
It's
not about it.
breakfast time.
Nope. They're checked
They're
out.
done. Yeah.
Like,
Ilay, where are you going?
To bed.
I would not. That was a lot. I don't feel okay. Can
I help?
I don't know. I'm scared. So
You're scared
yes,
of.
I just feel small again.
Do you need anything?
Just some time.
All right.
Ilay, if you take a d6 of afraid stress, I'll give you a plot point.
I will do so.
All right. I like it. Yeah, this is great. I think that sort of connective line in your head, Ilay, is absolutely on point. Not that these creatures are, Misajai symbiote relatives or anything. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I do think that the experience, I think you're spot on. And I love it. All right, Ilay's going to go for a lie down. And then there were 4, 5, 6, I guess, if we count Tiwi and Silona. There's so
I need
many.
someone to tell me right now to not change our heading in their direction. I'm going to do it. We are running out of time.
Support helping them. Now that we've heard from Ilay that the connection was made as the alarm was blaring, that might be their only form of communication.
I agree. Invicta,
Yeah.
your thoughts?
I don't trust it. I think it's a trap, but I'm outvoted. I just hope they don't kill us all.
Captain, can I take navigational control of the ship, please?
Granted.
And she walks out of the room.
Right. It'll take a couple of hours for you to get to, we'll say to just outside of where you're going to be in trouble as well from the gravity of the hole, of the black hole. but it'll be close enough that you'll be able to, like, get, if their ship is where they sent to you that it was, you'll be able to, you'll be close enough that you have them on scanners and can sort of get a better read on the situation. The rest of you, as Koseh is navigating rather the ship towards the coordinates that you were sent, are any of the rest of you doing anything in preparation? No, is okay.
Invicta's going to actually put on regular clothes.
I forgot you're still in the robe.
Yeah, she's just like chilling in the robe this whole time.
I love it. We got to get y'all like dress robes.
No.
Coffee. It is National Coffee Day, so
yes.
There. But Invicta actually goes and like armors up, and her hair is actually like down and loose. She just puts it in a ponytail. And she goes up to the bridge and kind of stands near Sila's chair.
Great.
Or she takes up her spot.
Yeah, you can be at the ready up there on the bridge in CIC, absolutely. Ikemba, Silent Diamond 9.
Ikemba's preparing weapons. Out of principle.
That's what I was really wondering, if any of you were going to do that.
It's like Ikemba is a firm believer in life is logical. That has not changed with him at all. But our lives are logical. If he knows that something could affect the team, he wants to prepare for that eventuality just to be safe, but while also making sure that the med bay is still in top condition, just in case that they have forms that he's used to. He's obviously never heard of them because they're sheltered, but he's definitely wants to make sure that we're prepared to defend ourselves as a team, and also that he can help wherever possible if they don't mean ill will to the team.
Great. Yeah, Koseh.
Once I changed like our heading, do I have enough time to spend these delicious plot points on building stuff in the fabrication room?
Yeah, I think so. I think you've got a couple of hours, so within that, yeah, I think so. Cool. I will check in on what you're making, but let me real quick just get what Sila's up to, and then I'll come back to you.
Captain is just sitting in the command seat. Just say Captain or Ikemba. Sorry.
No, Captain, Commander.
Okay, so Captain's just sitting in her seat in a standard captain's pose, 2 fingers on chin, elbow on knee, just preparing. And also she's on a call on the system. She's been updating Major Rafia on the mission that they're about to take on.
Great.
And I'm not sure how she's responding to that.
Yeah, I mean, neither she nor Torch have heard of the Angobu, so she has no idea who these people are. She's like, she asks, is that like their name or their people? Like, what did they give you? She has no sense of that. She basically tells you Torch protocol is to investigate distress signals. Torch protocol is not to get yourselves killed trying to resolve a distress signal situation, and black holes are no joke. So like, you're certainly not going to get court-martialed if you have to, abort this rescue mission, is the first and most important thing that she tells you, Sila.
Well, we're going to have to make a decision. There's lives at stake, and we don't have much time. We don't have time for a rescue team to come in. You want us to just let them stay there?
She says, I dearly hope that you are able to rescue them from their predicament. But you must remember, as difficult as it may be, the 5 of you are on a very specific and different mission. The only leads we have about these mysterious machines is you all. You are important to Torch, to Vitoa, to everything, at least right now. If you have to choose between your lives and theirs, well, it's up to you, Commander. But I won't second guess you either way.
Can anyone else hear this call that she's on Major Rafia?
If you are, so you're on the bridge, so that means that is also where Invicta and Ikemba are, and Koseh for the first part of it. So it's up to you if you want to broadcast that or if that's all an internal call.
Major, what's the likelihood that this is a trap and my crew is in danger?
Rafia pauses for sort of a long second and says, I was trained a very specific way. And my thinking is similar to Invicta's, if I'm honest. I am nervous about the truth of the situation. But I would also investigate, at least at first.
Thank you, Major. I'll make
Sorry,
a
I
call.
couldn't be more helpful. Commit. Anything else, Silent 919? I certainly don't want to cut it off because that was great. All right. Koseh, for the moment, you all are heading towards the black hole and the mysterious Angobu. You are heading to the fabricator, and what you doing?
Sweet. So I would like to look, I love data. So there's no universe in which Koseh, whose like spine has been tapped into to control those, like her backpack of
Right.
spider climb, doesn't
Right.
have something that like constantly monitors like the neural net in her own mind. So I would like to pull that data to see like, okay, what does this signal look like that spoke directly into my brain? And I want to build, if I can, with the time allotted, build a blocker for it. At the very least for Ilay, and then just as many as 5 plot points will allow me to build in the interim for people who do not want to be open to this communication, no matter what we're doing.
Yeah, cool. All right. So the first part of that is figuring out what the signal was.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It looks like, from what you can tell based on the data from your neural net scanners, whatever they are, it looks like whatever it was literally firing neurons in the language centers of your brain.
Amazing.
It was simulating actually you hearing, which is why it took you all a second to realize it took the visual cue to realize it wasn't on the ship, because you were literally, as far as your brain was concerned, you were literally hearing it. It's just that you were hearing it because they were sending it directly to your brain and to the neurons in your brain. So in terms of blocking, I think it would be about, I think you would because you don't know exactly what was causing your neurons to fire in that way, I think you'd have to sort of go like brute force, broad spectrum, like helmet type thing, right? That just sort of blocks hopefully any unwanted incoming signals. Yeah. So here's what I'll say. You can very easily, I think, create 5 helmets that block all the things, and they will be functional. They will keep the Angobu out of your heads. The trade-off, though, is that those would be pretty like crude and probably would also mean that you were blocking like comms between the ship and each other.
Yeah.
If you wanted to be a little more specific and allow for like at least y'all's personal comm signals to get through, that's fine. It's going to take a little longer. So I think you'll only be able to make 2 of those in the allotted time.
I only really wanted 2.
Great.
I want one for the captain who has like the last say, and I want one from Ilay, or one for Ilay who definitely doesn't enjoy this. And in the event, especially after like seeing the nature of like the highly invasive way in which they communicate, if there is any sort of like suggestive component, I want to make sure that like a significant number, and 2 is fine in Koseh's mind, of the crew can like be removed from that and can clock any like noticeable dire changes in the rest of the crew and act accordingly.
Cool. Yeah. So you would, I mean, you could certainly on yourself too, since it doesn't sound like you'll have one. You could.
I don't mind hearing
You
them.
can. No. But I mean, you could.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could use that same implant to like monitor for basically for anything that is outside of just the language centers.
Perfect.
Right? If there's something that's trying to affect other things, the emotional centers, the motor functions, whatever, I think your system can be alerted to that. We'll call all of that learning that, building that, and setting all of that up between now and the time you arrive. We'll call it 3 plot points.
Cool.
Great. Cool. Anything else en route to the black hole and the Ngobu ship? Great. So it does take a few hours, and the ship alerts the commander first when the black hole is within sort of scanner's range, and you're able to put it up on the ship's view screens if you would like. And the ship is currently scanning to try and find the Ngobu vessel. Everything's a little, effed up this close to a black hole, so it'll take a second, but you're getting there. You are now close enough to be able to sort of have visual contact with this black hole.
Interesting.
And you do. So you can you toss it up on the view screen, which of course has zoomed you in because you're not nearly this close. And after a few minutes of the ship's scanner sort of really very meticulously going through you're able to tell it to only look outside the event horizon, which significantly narrows down the search area. But you do locate it basically by sort of their drives, their engines, because this ship barely would register to you as a ship. It is partially your ship seems to indicate that it's partially biological. It is very, very strange, but it has a pretty standard looking drive signature at this point. So you have found what must be the Ngobu ship, or at least the ship that the Ngobu led you to.
Koseh's gonna walk in with like the 2 headpieces. They are very janky, deeply unattractive, and very heavy. I only had time to make 2. Ilay, can I give you one of these, please?
Are you coming to Ilay's room? Because
That's right. Then I think she would sprint over to Ilay's room before going to like the command deck.
Yeah, great.
Ilay, are you inside?
Yes.
Can I come in? Are you asleep?
No, you can come in.
Okay. I'm sorry if I didn't really engage much on your discomfort, because I don't understand it. Not that I don't think it's not valid. I just literally don't understand it. But I respect that you are uncomfortable, and I hope that maybe this will help. It should keep them from being able to directly communicate in your head. And I'm monitoring it on mine too. So if anything untoward happens, I can try to like break the signal just in case something bad happens. But you shouldn't have to deal with this just because I've kind of bullied the crew into going and helping people that we don't know and don't have any data about. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Are you okay?
No, it's just really noisy.
Can I hug you?
Okay.
Can I just go and give them a hug? Do you want some candy?
No, thank you. I'm just gonna sit and hug. And after like maybe 5 or 10 minutes, I'm gonna use whatever helmet and try and like still myself, and then I will accompany Koseh to the bridge.
All right. Koseh and Ilay arrive on the bridge. Ilay wearing something on their head.
The next iteration will look better. I didn't have a lot of time.
And Koseh, you have one more, yeah?
Yeah. Captain, do you want to wear this so they can't talk directly to you in case they try to like jump in our brains and make us eat each other or kill each other?
Oh, thank you.
I respect your choice, but I must insist you are the captain, and you becoming compromised is the worst possible version of what happens to the crew of the, oh my God, we haven't named the ship.
That was a sphere.
Huh?
That's what I've been calling.
Okay.
I mean, like, Eugenio just like chose a
I've been-
name and
I've been calling it the
Thrust it
sphere because
upon
y'all
us.
won't name it.
We won't name it. That
It
was
is a
Koseh just
description.
remembering. Abria
Yeah.
has remembered the whole time, but
Yeah. I had to call it something, so I used a descriptor.
maybe when this is over, we can come up with a name. But in the event that I got this wrong and I've endangered our entire crew, I need you to be able to be of sound mind to make a hard choice. Captain, Commander.
I don't think this is a good idea. I
None of this
understand that
is a
we're
good
already in the
idea.
process.
We are riding through space, a place that is cold and dark and wants to kill us, and in constant defiance of the laws of gravity and everything science and math would suggest, we explore it. So what's one more chance in the billion that got us to here?
You understand that you all are all that I have. I can't have I won't have those losses. I don't care about them.
No. But I can't think of anything better for a group of people that we know nothing about than have them meet you and all of us.
Take it. That's what you want, I'll take it.
Thank you.
I'm right.
Whoa, that's a lot of weapons, Invicta. Holy crap.
I only have my
it.
sword.
Well, like your whole body's a weapon.
No, it's not.
No, it kind of is in a good way.
Well,
Look, you're doing this pose right now, and your anterior deltoid looks like it's ready to punch me dead in my face.
despite what you think, I'm not that violent. I'm waiting to see what we do.
In a sort of disconcerting timing, as you were talking about violence and punching and whatever, you all, Invicta and Koseh, and I'm pointing at you like anybody can see my screen. Invicta and Koseh and Ikemba, you three hear like it sounds just like a knock.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay, are we all okay with saying okay?
I hear this as well. Hello.
Yeah, okay. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Welcome. We are so glad that you have made it this far. Will you assist us? Things have gotten rather dire.
Let me help.
Silent 919 and Ilay, you two don't hear the voice this time.
But for the record, Ilay's still a mess. They just want to make sure that they can
Oh,
help.
for sure.
We're doing crew shit, so Ilay's still there.
Yeah, totally. And Silent, you can very easily, since there's a conversation, you can slip it off if you want and want, whatever you want to do. But at the moment, as long as you have that helmet on, you don't hear them.
Does it look like Magneto's helmet? I feel like
Yeah, I think well, yes, but
Legally
Koseh.
So like imagine if you were trying to do a cool Magneto cosplay, but your budget was like $3. like it's a little piecemeal. Like it could be cool, but she didn't have time.
It's definitely
to
not
make it look
painted.
Cool. It's not painted and it's really bulky.
But the basic shape, sure.
It's mostly that.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one. For our podcast listeners, Christina now has a small upturned Tupperware on her head.
A
So
little
yes.
bucket.
Great. So the voice says, I appreciate that you all have come this far, and I understand there may be distrust. Once again, our apologies for contacting you in this way. Unfortunately, one of our 4 engines has malfunctioned, and our timeline has been moved up significantly. It is important that you are here. Whether or not you're able to help us, it is important that you are here. And that's where we'll leave it for this week.
Why does she keep saying important?
Thank you all so much for hanging out. What an exciting episode. Next week is our penultimate episode of season 3. I can't believe it's already here. So many questions left to answer. So be sure and come back and hang out with us next Wednesday, same time, same place, for episode 9. Excuse me. Before we go, though, we should go around and everyone should let you know who they are and where you can find them on the internet to keep track of all the awesome things that they're doing, because there's a lot of awesome things that these awesome folks are doing. So tell us all about the awesome things, awesome folks.
Hi.
Yes. Hi.
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 My name is Christina Ariel at Christina Ariel, KRYSTINA ARIELE, because that's my name. Spell it right and you get the right person. Spell it wrong, you don't. Yes. Also, like he said a minute ago, we do have the Into the Motherlands available in podcast form. So if you missed any of those, or you like to listen to podcasts while you work or have your coffee, please make sure that you go and download it, or, just go and if you enjoy the episodes, go and give us a 5-star rating and a review about what you love about the show. That's really helpful to us. And I hope that you will do that. Let's see, stuff and things. I host Star Wars The High Republic show on StarWars.com. You can go to StarWars.com/The High Republic and catch all episodes of that. The book's really great. I hope that you will enjoy them. I have stuff coming up, but like my brain doesn't work like that right now. So just follow me on Twitter. I talk about all my stuff right there, and go listen to what my friends are doing because they're pretty cool.
I will go, I guess. Hello, my name is Michael Sinclair II. I go by Michael Crits everywhere. I am on Second Star to the Right, a show that takes place on it takes place in the Neverland setting. It's a D&D 5e show. I'm also in Let's Get Wildmount with Critical Bard, and that's on Saturdays. That's another D&D show that takes place in Wildmount. And the Wildmount setting, and then I'm in Feyforged Academy, a podcast that takes place at a school in the Feywilds. I also play Magic the Gathering in paper and digitally, so sometimes I'll be on my Twitch channel at Michael Crits to play some Magic the Gathering on Arena. And then I just shot something, I Hate Your Deck, for Commander players who like that stuff. We had basically almost all Black Nerd Pod for one of our episodes. So that, I don't know when they're releasing that, but look out for that. So that's me.
I'll jump in. Hi, I'm Abria Iyengar. You can follow me on social media at Quiddy, QUIDDIE. You can catch me currently over on Dimension 20's channel playing the 7. You can also watch the short run that I ran called Misfits in Magic. You should definitely watch it if you haven't, for reasons that I'm going to be very vague about and not elaborate further. Other than that, I've got a podcast called Storybenders, where my friend Josh and I analyze every episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender. We took a very long hiatus because this year has been very busy for me, but we're back releasing episodes every Monday, and we just released Jet this week. So we're trucking on forward with big plans to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and like make some predictions about what we expect to see in Phase 4 based on what we've seen thus far.
Yeah. Next.
Oh, hi. feel like there's only 2 people left, so I'm going to say some things because I'm DJ Knight. You can find me on the internet at twitch.tv, pretty much anywhere else at DJ Knight. And like I said earlier, I got it pretty much everywhere because I didn't want somebody to do something stupid with my username. You're awesome for being here. Thank you very much for showing your faces. You can catch me tomorrow playing New World because obviously if you didn't know about the Battle for New World and New World in general, that's just basically what I'm going to be doing for the foreseeable future. But in addition to that, Thursday nights, aside from Wednesdays being here and into the Motherlands, on Thursdays I play Desmond, a human ranger lycanthrope, in Black Dice Society. It is an official D&D stream game in Ravenloft, so it is very horror focused. So be ready for some scary stuff if you decide to come over there, because mostly I really like doing this voice. It's nice. You're awesome. Thanks for tuning in, and you're awesome. That's it.
It's me. So hi. You keep coming back here to watch the show. We've got 2 more episodes left. I too will be on Black Dice Society with DJ tomorrow. We're in the Feywild. My character does not like that very much because she's a drow and a dumpier, and she hates it. She hates it a lot.
She really does.
Yeah. And then I'm super excited because Rivals Waterdeep comes back on Sunday with our very own DM Jazzy Hands and Urban Bohemian as our first time having co-DMs and Herb's first time DMing ever. So join us 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Central over on Rivals Waterdeep. And I too will be playing the New Worlds and something new on Monday that I can talk about later this week. So Sunday, I think I can talk about it. I think. I have to check my documents. Everything else I'm doing is under NDA, so follow me on Cypher Tier when I can talk about things.
Yeah. And I have been, Eugenio, you can follow me on Twitter and here on Twitch at DM Jazzy Hands. What's coming up? Tomorrow, I'm streaming Mass Effect on my channel. Also, tomorrow afternoon, I'll be talking a little bit about the Phantom Rogue, which is the class that my character on Rivals plays with D&D Beyond. So I'll be on the D&D Beyond channel at noon Pacific to have a chat about Phantom Rogues and about the upcoming season of Rivals that I'm so excited about. So as Tanya said, that's on Sunday. And then we haven't announced that yet. Never mind. Keep an eye, because I got another show that's coming back for a second season very soon. What else? I drop new episodes of my podcast. I have a D&D podcast called The Last Refuge. You all can check that out. We drop new episodes every Wednesday. We are coming up on the end of what has so far been a 4-year campaign arc, so it's all very exciting. That is me. I'm sure I forgot something, but follow me on Twitter and then you'll find out what it was. Thank you all so much for hanging out. We so appreciate it. We will see you next week. For right now, however, we are going to go spread the Motherland's love over to Urahime Cosplay, who is playing some Yakuza 4. Be kind, be good. We're going to go over there and spread the love. We'll see you all next week. And in the meantime, please stay safe, please stay healthy. And as always, happy gaming, y'all. See you next week.